Welcome to Talk to the Future, where the future of sales isn't predicted, it's built. Each episode features real conversations with the operators, marketers, and innovators driving what's next. From AI and automation to the strategies that are converting right now. No fluff, just what's working.
All right, this is Mr. Bigley here from Las Vegas at LeadsCon. I'm here with Ed Payne from Connection Holdings, the illustrious Ed Payne, who has more companies than pretty much anyone else I think I know. So I'd love to learn a little bit more about how you got started in all of this. Well, what was your background? Just how did you get into it?
Yeah, maybe more companies than anyone you know, but not more successful companies than anyone you ever know. I mean, for me, I'm not one of those entrepreneurs that got started like mowing lawns when I was 15 kind of guy. I've always come from corporate. I've always made a lot of people a lot of money. I've always had great mentorship and leadership. So I've kind of always done the EVP, scaling sales teams nationally. My claim to fame is growing a company from one city to 77 cities in one calendar year and creating the entire sales org.
How do you do that?
ADHD. I love connections. I love people. My relationships mean everything to me. It's actually the reason why I started opening up businesses. What happened for me was I was very connected in what I did. I'm kind of one of those guys that never reinvented myself twice in the same space. And so what I like to do is master something, kind of figure it out and move on to the next thing. And that's even with my careers. So what happened was I was working for a company that was had a burn rate of 25 million a year to grow nationally. Oh. And we did that, but the angel investor pulled out last minute. And I had my back against the wall, didn't know what I was going to do. And my wife's like, why don't you start your own thing? So my first company was Connecting the Dots. I didn't know what it was going to be. It was supposed to be, I know a guy, but I ended up brokering data deals. And I think I did like 14, 15,000 my first month, 20,000 my second month. But I didn't really understand if it was a true business model or if I was just brokering deals for quick cash. Long story short, I successfully landed a position with a company. They offered me an executive salary pretty quick. And they gave me the job with the caveat that my side hustle wouldn't take a lot of time. So I said no more than 5 hours a week. Well, a year later, my side hustle was outperforming my executive salary 10 to 1. So when I took that leap, it was like, what happens if I give this full-time effort? So that's kind of what got me started in it.
At that point, it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer, yeah. So I wasn't like risk adverse. It was just kind of, I just had so much money coming in, I didn't know what to do with it. Then what happened, I went to a Tony Robbins event, and I don't drink all the Kool-Aid, but I do drink some of it. And we did this meditative practice. I took something else from it. The question was posed, like, what would I be without a limited belief system? And three things came to my mind intuitively. One was generational wealth for my kids, which is there. Second was let my wife ride. So she's professional dressage internationally, which she's doing now. She's ranked number 4.
That's why you're globally in horse country.
Yep, that's why I'm in horse country. And the last was to allow other entrepreneurs to grow and scale. Because I feel like as I started getting to new peer groups, when I made my first $1 million month, like in profit, let's say, I didn't know what to do with it. And my immediate sphere of influence, no one was really there. And then as I kept scaling and escalating, my peer groups got smaller and smaller. I was almost having to figure it out as I went. That's including like corporate structure, tax.
No,
everything.
It's lonely. It's lonely when you're running it, and you can try to make all the guys at the office your friends, but that doesn't work very well either. Yep. Because you need a little bit of separation there.
Yep. So what I decided to do, I figured there were a lot of young cats like me at the time, younger, but that had entrepreneurial spirits, but didn't have the resources or the know-how to do it. So what got me to so many companies was actually mentoring and teaching other people how to do it, create systems, processes, replication, scalability. And then I would have managing members day one. And then as soon as I got the processes, I'd back away. So that's kind of what started my evolution to opening up so many different types of businesses.
So what sort of businesses do you run now?
My core business is right now, besides data and lead gen, most of it's around roofing. I own roofing in 11 states in 1.5 years. So I'm scaling pretty quickly. I do virtual staffing. We're a little bit more niche and boutique. I even offer C-suite for like a couple, like 2,000 to 3,000 a month. for like a COO, CIO, CTO kind of stuff. I do fractional CFO, that kind of stuff. And then I do AI, a lot of AI, and but mainly roofing. Construction and the niches within the construction space is kind of where I'm going.
What are you doing with an AI right now?
I do a lot. Right now, all my AI is obsolete. I have lead nourishment, like kind of like a Hatch kind of product.
Yep.
And I have marketing AI. But now with agentic or AGI, things are just changing so quick. So now all of a sudden I'm running entire back-end systems, processes, flows for my entire operational, anything from AdWords to account APAR to basically all I really need now is my C-suite and my mid-management, and most of my admin or administration kind of duties are done AI.
So pretty much everything is being managed with AI in your business right now,
for the most part,
at the ground level at least.
Yes. So basically, already with my my staffing company, my COGS were already, or my operational costs were already reduced by 80%. Right now, now it's even more. So now the risk adverse, the slow seasonality, the ability to reinvest back in my companies is just getting, the margins are getting better and better.
How many people do you have?
Which company?
All together.
I don't know, probably a few hundred collectively.
A few hundred collectively?
Yeah.
And all of these are run lean and mean using technology to scale.
So this is kind of the thing I'm going to. So that's why all the PE money is in this, right? The PE, I kind of follow trends. I don't know if I'm a trend setter, but I'm definitely understand the trends.
Yeah, I like taking other people's good ideas too.
Yes, 100%. And but also like it's almost like lead gen. It was been very kind to me. I love it. But the margins are getting smaller. It's getting harder. Everyone thinks they're a business owner. Unless you have a unique offer, you're the direct buyer or you're the publisher. It's getting harder and harder to make the numbers work.
Yep.
Right. What used to be a 12% EBITDA business is now a 4% EBITDA business, and then some months
going lower.
Yes. So for me, if I'm an investor and I wouldn't buy into this business, why am I putting so much effort and concentration in it? So I can't be so attached to a business to not adapt new ideas and principles. Like that's what our whole economy is about. Our whole revolutionary kind of mindset, right? Cast out old ideas for an adoption of new. So I think as a business owner, you can't be so married to a product that you're not willing to shift and turn with the tides.
Yeah. What's next for you?
Next is the exit. I've adopted a philosophy is don't start a business without the end in mind. It's like Socrates talking about going to war, right? If I'm in Afghanistan or Iraq, what does it mean to be there? What does victory look like? If I can't identify it, I just occupy a country for 20 years, leave, nothing happens.
It sounds like a good strategy. We should try that.
Yeah, so I reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
So within the next 2 years, I'm going to start the 21 steps to exit, which I follow EOS principles. And then after that, it'll probably be HVAC. Or I think it's either HVAC or what I kind of want to do is step into companies as a CEO. Don't pay me, just give me equity into the growth that I do for the business.
What sort of company would you step into? What would you look for?
For me, I'm more passionate about the people. I think for me, if I find the right culture and people and whatever, because at this point, I think you can get to a point in your career where your money starts working for you, right? And it's actually my best income right now is my residual. It has nothing to do with like what I'm generating, even with my other entities. So
residual, like just money in the stock market,
stock, short-term investment, bridge loans, 3-month, 12%. Like when you start talking about like $1 million block kind of stuff, where you merge with different buyers and get short-term gains, and just have your money work for you, right? But for me, I think what I want to do is that's what I'm passionate about. I really feel like it's about giving back and mentorship and teaching other people, and that's kind of why got me into so many companies. That's why. My people, I love, I adore, and that's what I'm passionate about. I can care less about the widget. I don't care about roofing. I don't care about AI. I care about my people and making a lasting impression when I'm gone.
How do you make a lasting impression on those people?
I mean, it's basically about shoulder to shoulder, man. Iron sharpens iron, Solomon, right? It's giving back, man. It's not being too great, not remembering where I come from. Remember that I'm not no better, no worse than anyone else. And it's like I'm here because people took the time to teach and nurture and develop me. And I feel a duty and obligation to give back to the next generation, man.
That's fantastic. So, Ed, where can everyone find you?
If you're talking about selfish motives, you can either get me on my podcast. My last name's Payne. It's called Pain Points, talking about the pain points of developing and teaching business owners how to grow and scale. But as far as a selfish plug monetarily, I own a company that I'm pushing right now called Roofs in a Box. It's roofsinabox.com. We basically help construction companies grow and scale through SOPs, through processes, through hiring. I basically give away the keys to the kingdom and show people how I did it and give them the same resources I've done to scale.
Really?
Yeah.
You're giving it all away?
Not giving it away. I sell the product, but it's most people don't know how. They can't get out of their own way. Most of the entrepreneurs I get are people stuck in like the 3 to 10 million a year kind of income. And they don't know how to make the next leap or have the infrastructure to grow to the 20 to 50 mil.
What's your top tip for getting people unstuck that are in that range?
First thing is systems. I always say companies fail for 2 reasons. It's people or process. And the problem is if you don't have the right processes, you can't hold the people accountable for which they hold, right? The position they hold. But if you have the processes, it puts a flashlight on where the holes in the company are. Right. Most companies, what they do is that they get to a level and they kind of adapt their org chart to fit their skill sets versus hiring to fit the org chart. And I think that's one of the biggest issues with small business is that they can't get out of their own ways to scale, or they need a body, or they don't have defined roles, or they manipulate roles because this person doesn't quite have the skill set, but they kind of shove them into that square hole.
That's what they got.
That's all they got. So I think a lot of business owners know what they have to do. But sometimes getting a third party perspective puts a flashlight on what they need to do. So first and foremost, I think it's that. I think it's organizational flow processes, and then after that, sky's the limit.
How do you get people to stick to the process?
Well, you have to get buy-in. I think business owners are sometimes the most guilty of it. You know, either laziness. Like if I go to a bookkeeper and they report to my CFO, the bookkeeper is going to stop what they're doing in their tracks because the owner of the company just asked them to do something. So sometimes I go for the path of least resistance because I want the answer now as a business owner.
Yep.
Or secondly, I don't trust, right? Is that the person there, I know they're not right. So I almost backfill their lack of skill.
Go right to the source.
Yeah.
Right to the source.
Yeah. To make sure it happens, because no one's going to do it the way I do it. And that's a process issue. Right. So, and I think most business owners, what happens is you just start getting into it because you're good at something, but you're not good at running a business yet.
And then you're spending all your time in the weeds.
Yeah. And so that's what I think. I think what we need to do, even for myself, right? Know my limitations. My favorite definition of humility is the honest appraisal of my limitations and liabilities, being right sized, right? And I think we just have to know our own inefficiencies, because then we can hire to fix those things.
I'm trying to replace myself in every role this year.
Yep.
Except for maybe podcast host, but
Yep.
I might even replace that.
Yep.
So
I my biggest company right now, my biggest companies, I no longer have a role in.
Really?
Yeah.
So the biggest ones, they're so successful and they're running so well that you're not involved at all. You just get a report at the end of the month.
I'm on the board.
You're on the board.
Yeah, so I run their quarterlies.
Quarterly meetings.
I help facilitate direction and whatever. But yeah, I mean, the reality, I always say, are you a business owner or a business operator? The business needs you to succeed. You're a business operator, which isn't bad. When companies are growing and scaling, that's the American dream. I'm not even saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that a lot of times what happens with limited belief systems or even perspective is that people can't see past what they know. And, you know, and it's you're in the same boat. I could ask you the same question. Like when you made your first meal per se, now you no longer think in thousands. All you can think is millions, right? Billionaires, all they think is in billions.
It's hard to think in billions.
Yeah.
Hard to think in billions right now.
Yep. And a lot of it is social influence. Look at your surroundings. If you can't be the smartest guy in the room, if you're the smartest guy in your circle, you need new circles.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
For sure. Ed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for tuning in to Talk to the Future, where the future of sales isn't predicted, it's built. If you got value from this episode, make sure to subscribe, share it with your team, and stay connected for more conversations with the people driving what's next. Because what's working tomorrow is already being built today.